Halo Reach datapad locations. For the level Winter Contingency, this very first datapad you can only get on the legendary difficulty. There is a camoed elite running away from you at the very beginning of the level, so sprint after him. This is going to take you a couple tries, so be patient. You can see him running off to the left. I like to use 2 full sprints before I start shooting, and then switch to my assault rifle as soon as I run out of pistol ammo so I don't have to reload, and then just burst fire it, and where he dies is where the first datapad is going to be. The second datapad can be picked up on any difficulty. Shortly after that part in the level, you're going to get on this truck, just kind of follow my path. You can drive across this bridge, and in the area where you run into the first group of enemies, up here on the left, in this little housing area, jump out of the car, and the first building on the right, next to this dead body, is the second datapad. Halo Reach datapad locations. This first datapad can only be picked up on the legendary difficulty. This is the Oni sword base level. So after you've cleared out all the enemies, take this left route. You don't have to take out all the enemies. I just killed them all to make showing the location of this datapad easier. And you can actually get to this datapad by going the left way or the right way. It's not important. I just this is the shortest route, and I wanted to start from an easily recognizable landmark because I want to make this video as easy as possible to follow. So run up these steps and jump over this little railing. You're going to need to have the sprint armor ability. Sprint, jump, and you should easily clear that gap. I wasn't able to clear that gap on my first try just by crouch jumping and running, or by crouch jumping without the sprint ability. So this second datapad can be picked up on any difficulty. It's on this multiplayer map part of the level. It's where the shotgun is normally hiding on, at least during the beta. During Slayer matches, just go up these ramps and across the way underneath the stairs is the second datapad. The first datapad for the Nightfall level can be picked up on any difficulty. At the very beginning of the level, just turn right and go in this little crevice, and there's the first datapad. The second datapad, it's in this area where you're supposed to defend your teammates. You can completely skip this section, which I neglected to point out in my walkthrough because I didn't realize it until I started recording these datapad guides. You just run up this wall, run over here to the left. This datapad's you can only pick up on the legendary difficulty. Follow these little green lights on the ground, and as soon as you get an opportunity to jump up some rocks on the right, you're going to start platforming a bit. This one was a really fun datapad to pick up. I wish there was more hidden ones like this because it's really fun to jump around the level like this. Kind of get in areas where they're a little bit more hidden, a little bit more difficult to get to. So you're going to have to sprint and jump across that large gap. You're going to go forward a little bit more, and on the right you can see the datapad there on the ground. But there's a little bridge for you this time. So jump back, and you're going to get the second datapad for the level. Tip of the spear datapad locations. The first one you can get on any difficulty. You can skip a couple enemies by just jumping over that little gap. Take out the grunts along the way. You do not need the sprint to pick up these 2 datapads, unlike some previous levels where you needed that extra jumping ability to make some difficult jumps. Anyway, just make your way down these stairs. Hopefully you can kill those grunts a little bit faster than I did right there. That was pretty pathetic for a recording run. Anyway, turn left, and on the shelves behind those boxes. And then the next one is just after this. You take out those grunts like you normally would, or else you'll get into a Star Wars speeder chase. Just boost past all of the grunts and the elite on the left. And you've probably seen this area before, you just never thought to jump up there. But you're going to see a crashed Warthog up on part of this broken bridge. And you can actually jump up there, and the data pad is right next to it. So you're going to have to jump and crouch jump to get up enough height to get on top of these little platforms. And jump over, and there's the second data pad. Long Night of Solace. Data pad locations for Halo Reach. The first, both data pads are very early on in the level before you go to space. First one, you're just kind of following your teammates around and jump over here. Data pad's just sitting on the ground. The second one, you can only get on legendary difficulty. The previous one you could get on any difficulty. So keep running up to the space shuttle like it's encouraging you to, but before you run up that second half of the ramp, turn to your left. This jump can be a little bit tricky. You're going to have to jump up this little platform, then jump and then crouch so you're not too tall to sit on this little platform. Turn around, jump back, go up this little ramp, and that's the second data pad. Exodus data pad locations for Halo Reach. You're going to need the jetpack to pick up both of these data pads. The first one you can pick up on any difficulty. You probably recognize this section right after you get the jetpacks. Just keep progressing towards the checkpoint. And right before the door to the next section is going to be a little hidden catwalk. And on that catwalk up there, you can jump and float. And the first data pad for the level. Second one is not too far after that. Jump to the top of that little apartment building. And you can see me run in super fast motion. Up to the right on here is, on top of those little exhaust vents, I guess you can call them, is the second data pad that's only acquirable on legendary difficulty. So float over here to one of these girders. You have to jump out just a tad to get around the girder. And these black pipes are actually walk-throughable, I guess. And just jump through it and then jump up a little bit more. And on top of these little boxes is the second data pad. Data pad locations for New Alexandria. The first one you can pick up on only legendary difficulty. As soon as the level starts, turn around, and at about elevation negative 100, you're going to see the data pad on the side of this building. You're going to have to jump out of the helicopter and ditch it to pick up the data pad, and you can press down or up, I don't remember off the top of my head, on the D-pad to call for an emergency evac. So just put the nose of it right along that ledge, hold B to jump out, and then walk over and pick up the data pad. And then after you get the emergency evac, look off in the distance at that almost Sears Tower looking building, the very tall one off in the distance, and right behind it is the second data pad. This one you can pick up on any difficulty. So fly around to the back half of this building, and on the very roof, you're going to have to jump out of the helicopter again, but you can save your helicopter this time. It's not as precarious of a ledge. Right there on the ground, you can see it, so just jump out and pick up the second data pad. Data pad locations for the level, the package for Halo Reach. The first data pad can be picked up on any difficulty. Now, before you hit the activate switch, you need to pick up the data pad, so do not hit that activate switch until you've read the data pad. It's right next to the switch, so it can be tempting to hit the switch as soon as you get there, but right in that corner, right by the switch, is the first data pad. The second one you're going to need a jetpack for, and it's on this defense area. You pick up the jetpack off of that wall. It might not be obvious that you can pick up that jetpack because it's not brightly colored like they usually are in other parts of the game. So head on over to this turret on the right. Go right past it. That's turret C, if that helps you find it a little bit easier. Jump right past it, run through these rocks, get on top of this building, and let your jetpack fully recharge because you're going to need every little ounce of it. Now, jump, and don't just hold the float the entire time. You're going to have to kind of like burst it so you don't run out of jetpack to get over here and on that little hidden ledge. Datapad locations for the Pillar of Autumn. This first datapad can only be picked up on legendary difficulty. You might recognize this part of the map from the multiplayer. So run across this little crane, jump over here, and in this corner is the first datapad. Now, not too far after that, immediately after you kill those elites and run through this door, right below where I was standing for that previous datapad, basically, you're gonna follow the path. No tricky parts here, except on the right in this second window, you're gonna have to break the window by shooting it or meleeing, and then jump and crouch jump to make yourself short enough to get through that window. And then in the back corner is the second datapad. Lone Wolf, legendary difficulty datapad. There's only one that I know of so far. As soon as the level starts, just run forward, run through this building, and inside that pipe, that elevated pipe, is going to be the last datapad. Pick up that sniper rifle if you want, and then you're gonna have to jump on top of these little red pillars, and inside that pipe on the right behind that gate, is the last datapad.